Hey, real quick, before we dive into today's episode, if you've been feeling like your brand needs a little love, but you're not quite sure where to start, I have just the tool you need. The Standout Brand Audit Bot is an AI-powered guided audit that shows you exactly what's working, what's not, and how to strengthen your brand using my proven Standout brand system. In 10 minutes or less, you'll walk away with clear next steps to move your brand forward with purpose. It's completely free. Just head to the show notes to grab the link and get started. What is the last thing in your business that felt really, really fun to you? I would guess that you're probably struggling to think of something. I know that I would be. And I think that having fun in our business is something that is so important and that we lose sight of very quickly as we start to grow and scale our online businesses. So today I'm super excited to introduce you to my friend Deanna Seymour. She's a graphic designer and founder of The Playhouse, a virtual social club for business owners who prefer real connection over constant content, designed to help them build visibility through relationships that lead to opportunities. With a mix of humor, empathy, and real talk, Deanna helps us lean into our personality and capacity so that we can have fun running sustainable and profitable businesses. If you are somebody who feels like you've kind of lost your sparkle for business a little bit lately, this conversation is going to be really rejuvenating for you, and I'm excited for you to hear it. Welcome to the Six Figure Brand Podcast, where each week we're pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to build a six-figure business as an online service provider. I'm your host, Morgan. I'm a branding expert, online agency owner, mom of two, and military spouse, and I'm obsessed with helping entrepreneurs like you understand the ins and outs of branding so that you can use it to grow your business without sacrificing your sanity. Whether you're just starting out or focused on scaling, we're diving into everything you need to build a profitable and sustainable online business. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of the Six Figure Brand. I am so excited to have my good friend, graphic designer, and founder of The Playhouse, Deanna Seymour, here with us. Deanna, thanks for being here. I'm so excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we have been connected since before I had children, so it's been at least like 3 years. And you did not have a membership when I first met you, so I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about just how you got into online business at all in the first place, because I know you started out doing kind of like just graphic design, and now that has really like evolved into a whole big business.
Yes. I was an art teacher, so always been artsy. Always had lots of different businesses, Etsy shops, just as an artsy lady. I taught punk rock aerobics. I had a business called Missing Monsters for little plush monsters and upcycled kids' clothes before I even had kids. And just like, I've always dabbled. I have a little ADHD and, as an art teacher, like you have summers off and then I would just like dive into something new and then it would be busy when school started. And then it would kind of, having a business is hard. And so having a business and being a teacher was super hard. And then I would kind of be like, beat myself up because I would get really excited, start something, and then it would like fizzle because I would get busy and then I was like, what if I just helped other people start their businesses? I could live vicariously through them. I could get excited about all their businesses and help them do that. And so then I started doing kind of graphic design. When you first start your business, you're like, what do you pay me for? I'll do any of it. Like I can make you a website as long as you're on the platform. I know that I started my website up. Like I was doing lots of dabbling, which was a little bit of branding, a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of website help here and there, which has kind of simmered over the years down to mostly helping people get off of Instagram and do static 9 grids, which is like kind of setting up a little mini website on their Instagram page so that they can spend more time doing the kind of content that they like. And I talk about that as like building your body of work because I think of it as an art teacher, like your portfolio, all your best pieces or a capsule podcast or something like that. So you have your stuff up there and you're good to go. Because I also should say I work mostly with service providers and I feel like we are not meant to be influencers or content creators all the time cranking out stuff. So I have kind of niched my way into like a corner where I'm like, we don't have to make constant content. We can just have fun and we can make what we love. And the people who resonate with that will hire us because we also have to have time to do the job that we're planning to do. So it's always that tightrope of all that stuff. So that's my journey.
Yeah, I recently started a conversation on Threads about that exact thing of like, I went to college for graphic design. I knew I wanted to be a designer, did not know I wanted to be a business owner. And then once I kind of started going down that road, I was like, oh man, now I have to be a graphic designer and a bookkeeper and a salesperson and blah, 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 blah. And at that point, I still didn't even know like, oh, I also have to be a full-time content creator. When am I going to make the things?
And you're like raising your hand. When do I get to do graphic design? Is that part of this job at all? Because it feels like it's not. Yeah.
Yep. And I think some of it is like that joke of I left my 40-hour-a-week job to go work 80 hours a week for myself. And I would make that trade every day, like more than happy to.
Mm-hmm.
But it is tough to keep up with Instagram. And then now you have to be on like TikTok and Threads and all these other places.
Yes.
And all as creatives, we also want to spend time getting better at our craft and then also serving our clients. And one of those has to give. Which one is it?
Yes. 100%. I feel like it's all too much.
So when we first connected was in a networking mixer thing for designers, and you were doing graphic design. And I think you had, were you calling it the Content Playhouse at that time?
Yes.
That it was more of like a content subscription? Tell us a little bit of how that started and then how it has evolved into what the Playhouse is today, which is something really cool and different and one of my favorite places to hang out online.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I feel like I had a friend who was like, wait, it's like the same name, but it's going to be different. And I was like, well, I just really like the Playhouse. So we're going to do this. We're going to make this transition. So Content Playhouse was much more like a membership that I feel like people think about when they think of memberships. Like I was helping people with social media or with Static 9 Grids or whatever, essentially make content. And then I was like, okay, well, what if I also could serve some clients who maybe can't pay me to do everything for them? Like we could have co-working, we could meet, I can review their Canva designs and like give them tips. Like I can't start from the ground up. And so Content Playhouse was born much like a normal quote unquote community where I think we had like a monthly co-working, a monthly hot seat. Sometimes guest people would come in and it was just very much like a normal community. And then I think the Playhouse kind of popped in, the Playhouse as it is today, not Content Playhouse. I also became more and more disinterested in creating so much content. And in Content Playhouse, I did talk a little bit like what I just said, making a body of work and like not constantly making content, but it still felt like more content than
it's really hard to get off that hamster wheel.
Yes. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm like starting to feel like more of my messaging is about less and less content. How can I have a membership about making content and do that at the same time? And I read a book by Rainn Wilson, who's Dwight from The Office, called Soul Boom, talking about his quote that I thought was kind of cool. We actually went to see him speak at the college my husband works at. And he was saying we all kind of threw out the spiritual baby with the religious bathwater. So I personally grew up Catholic, not into it at this point in my life, but I do crave community. And even like with 2 kids and living in the suburbs, like I don't know my neighbors as much as I wish I did. And so reading that book, I was really like, yeah, I want community. Like I wanted some of the fellowship that comes with a church without the church parts of that. Like I have friends who go to church and I'm like, oh, that's nice. A little spaghetti dinner or something, or we're all getting together to like volunteer and send something somewhere to help somebody. And I'm like, that's nice. I wish I could go to a church that's not a church. And so at first I started thinking, my gosh, I want to like do something in my neighborhood or in my community or somehow like bring people together. Like, can I build this church, non-church? And I was like, my husband, of course, was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I want to support you, but like, what are you doing? You just read this book and now you're going to, what are you going to open a community center or something? Like, what is happening? Yeah,
he's
babe,
like,
whatever.
Oh, Deanna's going to start a soup kitchen in our house. Great.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, I totally could see this working in the space I'm already in online business. And at the time was doing Content Playhouse and was like, this really feels like the Playhouse. Like it could be like a community center for business owners, online business owners to hang out. And I don't know if it's because of where I am in my business and like I'm feeling pretty saturated with learning. And of course, I was a teacher, so I'm not saying I hate learning. I'm just saying at a certain point in your business, you're like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing. Like I have picked my email platform. I've picked my website platform. Like I kind of have things set. And it was almost like I'm getting too much information. And now I would just like to meet cool people and hang out and have fun. And so I was like, how could we do that as business owners and just hang out? And so then the idea for the Playhouse was born.
Yeah, I love that. And I think all of that is so important because I too have felt that way. And I had a little bit of like crisis this last year of like, I think I need to like stop having input. Like, I don't want to listen to any more business coaches. I don't want to take any more courses. I don't want to like do any of like more learning. Exactly like you said.
Yeah.
I want to just run my business and start doing the thing again. I also was like coming off of 2 almost back-to-back maternity leave. So I felt like I just had a little bit of like a rebirth as a business owner on the whole. But it like really one day hit me of like, no more learning stuff. Like, I need to just do the thing. But then with that, now I'm like, well, but if I'm not in these groups and like learning from these people, then who do I hang out with? It's lonely, right?
Yes. Yeah. What am I doing? Then what am I doing? But I think I just want to say really fast that it gets too confusing and too muddled. Like, you know, I mean, not to go back to art teaching, but like, you know, if you're painting and you keep messing with it and you keep like wet paint and like, you're just going to have like a muddy brown mess. And so I think once you do pick, this is what I'm doing for email marketing and feels good for me and I'm going to launch this many times a year, whatever, adding more information, then you're like, well, wait. Should I do it that way or should I do it that way? Like, the first person I listened to said do this, but then this person said do this. And now this new person's, that could be fun. Oh, wait, they use that platform. Maybe that platform's better. Like, there is a certain point where I feel like we all have to be like, time out. We picked our platform until we feel like it's broken for us. No more. Because also the annoying part is like being consistent and writing the emails. That's not fun. Like learning about a new platform and like making a new header and like setting something up. Like you feel like you're really getting something done, but really you just need to consistently email your list. I know I'm like going down the email marketing example, but
no, it is a good example though, because I think that's something that a lot of us struggle to stay consistent with. And I think we also we tell ourselves like, oh, if I switch to this new platform or I do this new thing, or if I start a Substack instead of like a traditional email list, that's going to be like the magic bullet for our business. And it never is. I commented on a post yesterday, I think, that was like the Kit versus Flowdesk debate, which I'm so tired of hearing. And I literally was like, whichever one you will actually use.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Like, and people are
it
like,
actually doesn't matter.
Deliverability and analytics and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, if you're saying I'm looking to finally start email marketing, which platform is best, it literally does not matter. Anyone is fine.
Yes, as long as it sends emails. There you go. Yeah. That's all you need.
And as long as you will actually use it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for in the Playhouse. And I also was part of my mission for the Playhouse was about, I don't have all the answers. Like I also felt like everyone has these little memberships because it's really hard to grow a membership. Let's be real. I mean, the Content Playhouse, I think I want to say around maybe 30 people, 20, between 20 and 40 at any given time. So like, it was okay.
That's pretty good.
It was fine. Yeah. But it really hadn't grown to a place where I was like, okay, this is like sustainable. It still felt like it needed to grow to really feel like what I was putting in, whatever.
Yeah. And you couldn't like make that your whole business. Like you had to still be doing other stuff.
Yes. And so it just kind of made me realize too. And I mean, I feel like Liz Wilcox was the first person I knew, speaking of email marketing, that was like, oh, a $9 membership. And then everybody was having these like $9 membership. Like, let's just all have cheap little memberships. And I'm like, okay, then your full-time job is like marketing that. And we kind of started this conversation too by talking about like, when do I get to do the thing I want to do? I just felt like I saw everybody trying to do the same thing and be like the leader in their little membership. And I was like, what if we also all kind of came together and just like brought our friends, and it was more of like a collective of like, Morgan's in here and she is super awesome at branding. Like, go to her event and learn about branding. Or, so-and-so's in here about Facebook ads. Instead of us all like building by ourselves, lonely in our own little silos, what if we all kind of came together? And then, like I said, I was kind of burnt out. So a lot of the events I end up wanting to host are like, let's get together and talk about Bravo TV. Someone's been having a book club and I'm like, oh, that's fun. Where we don't all have to read the same book, but we just read a book with a random thing. Like last month, it was a one-word title. This month, it's like something pink on the cover. So you just read whatever you want and you come and you just say like, yeah, I liked it. Or like, skip this one or whatever. And I think it makes me feel less lonely. It makes me feel more connected. It's not making me overthink my email provider or like anything that I'm already doing in my business. And I'm networking. Even though we don't think of networking as chatting about Bravo or talking about books, I'm meeting new people. I'm learning what they do. And we're like moving on and talking about other things. But it's been really, really fun. So I'm loving it so far.
Yeah. And I think fun is obviously our overarching theme here. Deanna, exudes fun to me. Every time I talk to her, I'm leave and I'm like, oh, that was fun. Her background is fun. Her branding is fun. Her hair is fun. Deanna is very fun. And I think that that's something that we kind of lose as business owners and parents and spouses and whatever. Like, we forget that we started these businesses to get away from corporate America, to stop having people boss us around, whatever, but also so that we could have more fun and like have more control and work on projects we want to work with and meet the people that we want to meet. And I feel like it all feels fun when we first start because it's all new and exciting. And then we get like 4, 5, 6 years in, and all of a sudden we're like, well, I just created a full-time job for myself. Got to go find a new hobby to have fun.
Yes. Yes. And it is tricky because you like want it to be successful. And so you want to do it right. Like, that's what happened to me in the beginning. I was not having any fun because I was a really good student. And so I would take courses and try to be like, okay, well, I'm just coming from being an art teacher. I don't know how to be an online business owner. I better learn everything I need to, and I better show up exactly how I'm supposed to and do my brand the way I'm supposed to. And then woke up one morning and was like, this kind of sucks. Like you said, like I left a job I didn't like, and now like I'm my own mean boss, kind of like telling myself I have to do all these things. And then I started being like, what if I just pick the colors I like for my brand? What if I just I did a social media like detox when I was actually really first starting my business, because I kind of dabbled, like I was a teacher and I was like kind of building up my clients for a year. And then the summer I was about to not go back to school. I was going to take a break from social media. And my husband was like, don't you kind of need that to like do your thing? Like, he was like, okay, cool. But also like, I hope you're still going to make money. Like, what?
But you have a plan, right?
Yeah. He was like, this seems risky. And so I think just trying to figure out, like, what do I want to do? And again, I think that's probably what you were going through with, like, quieting all those other voices so that you can hear your own voice be like, okay, actually, what I want to do is send an email this many times a week. Or what I want to do is put out my podcast 6 episodes at a time and then take a break. Or like I always say, you can do all the things in business like a million different ways. So being confident and they all work. So like being confident about what you choose and then kind of sticking to it, which does get hard sometimes. So
that's the key.
Having that
they
accountability.
All work if you do them.
If you do them. Yes. But it's a lot easier to stick to the ones that you like, that feel fun for you, and on a schedule that feels fun for you. So like people who hate being on video and then they're like, but I feel like I'm supposed to make reels, but I hate being on video. I'm like, your videos are probably going to suck, which sounds very harsh. But I'm like, if you don't want to do them and you're just doing them because somebody told you that reels are what you need to do, and you're doing them with like the crankiness of like, you know, a 13-year-old boy who's being asked to empty the dishwasher, the vibe is not going to be there. You know, like it only works if the energy behind it. And I sound like a total hippie. I'm not this hippie-ish, but I feel like the vibe matters. And it's also going to be so hard for you to stay consistent and actually see any results with making reels if you hate being on video. So I'm like, maybe you just allow yourself to not do that thing and write some blogs and get some blog contributor. Like you can go down whatever route you want. Cause like you said, they all work, but they only work if you do them. And me personally, I only do them if they feel fun. Otherwise it's like, why don't I go to the gym consistently? Oh, cause I don't really like it. Like I've never had a problem being like, I'm going to eat Cheetos every night if I want to. That's like really easy and fun for me. So like if that was a challenge, 30-day Cheeto challenge, I could nail it. 30-day, like, you know, hit the gym every day for 30 days, it's going to be harder for me because it's not fun. I'm not saying it would be impossible for me, but the Cheetos would be way more fun and way more likely that I could do that for 30 days in a row. Just
well, and so 2 things here. First, like to use fitness as an example. Yeah, saying as somebody who never goes to the gym, then to say I'm going to go to the gym for every day for 30 days, like that's never going to happen. And then you're going to beat yourself up and be like, oh, I suck. And it's just like a whole spiral. Versus if you found some sort of exercise that you do like to do, like water aerobics or taking your dog for a walk. Like, why don't you just say, I'm going to take my dog for a walk every day for 30 days? That probably feels fun. You could probably do that. I think that we get so wrapped up in like, we see someone successful and they say, I'm doing this thing. And then we say, I have to do that thing. And we don't consider for a second that like our business is different. Our lives are different. Our clients are probably different. So yes, that works, but whatever you like and want to do probably could also work if you would just commit to doing it.
Yeah. And I would argue, and I'm always joking because I'm like, not based on evidence or data. I would argue that it's going to work better because you are going to be more consistent and it's going to be better. Like it's hard to do stuff you don't like consistently. And like the way you get better at things is by doing them. I remember when I was like trying to do a TikTok, it took me, I felt like such a boomer. I was like, this took me like literally like 45 minutes to make a 45-second TikTok. Like, what the heck? My fat thumbs trying to like, get a word in and like move this thing to the side. I was like, oh my gosh. Now, I didn't really like it and I didn't continue doing it, but I'm sure everybody takes a long time to do their first TikTok. And the people who like it for whatever reason keep doing it and keep getting better and their content gets better. Like any YouTuber is like, if you go back and look at their first video,
they're terrible.
Yeah, like they have to get better. You have to get better by doing it. So if you hate the thing and it's not fun for you, the odds of you getting better are very low.
Yeah. And I think too, just to like add a little bit of nuance to this conversation, I tell my clients, like coaching clients or branding clients or whatever, to just suck it up a lot. Like I'm like, there are going to be things in business that you don't want to do that you have to do, and you get better at them by doing them. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you or I are suggesting that, you create one TikTok video and you say, oh, I hated that, and then you never do it again. Like give yourself a chance to like it.
Yes.
The unfortunate reality is that you get good at something by being willing to suck at it for a while. But I think there's a difference between like forcing something that's not working versus being like, okay, this is just new for me, so it's hard, but I am still like interested and excited about it.
Yes, I think you're right. Because I really didn't want to do it. If I would have been honest with myself, like I didn't want to do TikTok. And I do love podcasting or being on people's podcasts. So like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like I had no business even trying to start a TikTok. Because I knew I didn't like it. Like I'd already made like, you know what I mean? If you don't, like you said, there's a difference between being like, oh, this is hard. Or maybe instantly you're not seeing the results you want. But it is like a format that you like. Like there has to be something about it that you see value in. Like, oh, but this could work for this. Or, it does make sense for me to get on video, even though I'm a little uncomfortable with it. Like I want to like get better at it. Like you have to have the desire to want to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think having fun in your business is, I would say, like one of the top 3 most important things. Otherwise, like just go get a job. It'll be easier. And it's not going to be fun 100% of the time. And just because something is hard does not mean that it's bad.
Yes.
But if something is like causing you debilitating anxiety every time you open up your phone to create a reel, then maybe there's a different content strategy out there for you.
Yes, maybe there's an alternative. I was going to say, like your example too of walking the dog versus like going to the gym is movement. Like, is there something like an overarching theme that would feel better to you? Like you said, in a different way. Like this is the content I want to get out there, but this format feels not great. So how can we change that? And like for me, I always go back to bookkeeping for something in my business I have to do that I don't like. And to be honest, at this point, I've been doing a really good job at my bookkeeping for a few years and I don't hate it as much as I used to because I just like understand it more. It makes more sense. I'm faster at it. Like, so it's kind of a good example for what we were just talking about, but it used to be my example for like what I hated. And what I did was join a group so that I could do my bookkeeping and co-work because I know me and I know that I am more likely to do it if there's friends. And if I know there might be a little chitty chat at the end or, we work a little or we say hi in the beginning and it gives me like a reason because I like people to do my bookkeeping because just opening up QuickBooks by myself is like not going to happen. So
what you're saying is you're more likely to do your bookkeeping if you do it in a way that feels fun.
Yes. So I was going to say, even the things that suck, if you can try to start brainstorming what could make this more fun. And it could just be, as simple as it sounds, but like a great playlist while you're doing, if it's not like a membership you join or something, okay, I have to do my bookkeeping, but I'm going to make a mocktail before I do that. And it's going to have like a fancy drink. And at least I have this to look forward to. Or maybe you are like, oh, a partner of mine, I am doing my bookkeeping tonight and I have to skip the annoying bedtime routine. Like maybe you cash in on like, I'm going to do my bookkeeping tonight instead of do this other thing that is also hard for me in my parenting life. But how can you sort of work the levers to make some of the things more fun? Because I think you're absolutely right to call that out too. Like my business is not always fun.
Is your brand feeling a little off? Like your visuals, messaging, and your overall vibe just are not lining up with where your business is headed? You probably don't need another pretty logo. You actually need a solid strategy behind your brand. That's exactly what we'll build together inside the Standout Brand Strategy session, a one-on-one deep dive into your brand foundation so that you can finally show up with clarity, consistency, and confidence. And if you're thinking about working with Spect & Co. on branding or web design, this is your first step for every single project that we do together. Clients who have gone through this process have tripled their audience size, doubled their revenue, and raised their rates by 30% or more. Use the link in the show notes to book your session, and don't forget to enter code SFBPOD at checkout to save $100. No, and I think to just tie a little bow on the not forcing yourself to, for example, create content in a way that you hate. You said oh, the energy and whatever, and you're not that much of a hippie, but I think that's totally true. Why I'm so sick of hearing about the trust recession. I think it's real. I think it's totally legit, but I just don't want to talk about it anymore. But I think that when I've talked in various places about this, I started my business in 2016 is when I started freelancing, and I went full time in 2018. I literally started a whole business, Deanna, on Upwork and in Facebook groups. And I put in a lot of work, and I'm a great designer and whatever. But honestly, it was quite easy at that time. It is not that easy anymore. And buyers are a lot more discerning. They're a lot more apprehensive. They want to feel like they know you more before they're willing to give you their money. And they're also not dumb. They can tell if you're showing up on Reels and you are wanting to gouge your eyeballs out because you hate it so much. So then not only is it not going to work as well as you hope, but it's probably going to have the opposite effect. It's going to actively turn people off from you.
Yeah.
So I would just add that to give your audience the credit to know that they are smart and they can tell whenever you're forcing something. So maybe just don't do that.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about that trust recession for a second, even though you just said you're sick of talking about it?
Yes.
Because I just want to point out, too, that I think that's one of the cool things about the Playhouse that I've seen playing out that I honestly didn't even think about was, all the things and the number keeps getting bigger and bigger every time somebody says it, how many touch points you need before somebody buys something from you. It's I swear, it's a cartoon every time.
I heard one on a podcast. It wasn't about touch points, but it was it's a podcast for agency owners, agency being anywhere from $100,000 to several million a year. So all sizes of agencies. And it was saying that the customer acquisition life cycle, so the time it takes from first realizing that they have a need to actually hiring has extended by 2 to 3 months just since 2024.
Yes. I believe it. And it was something I didn't really think about with the Playhouse because I was just oh my gosh, I want my non-church church with online business owners and was inspired by the book and was also just can we just hang out and be friends? Is that okay? But the thing that happens, I think, that I didn't see coming was that people are hiring each other inside the Playhouse because it's different watching a reel. Because also, what we were saying too, you can't fake it, but some people can fake it. And I've hired some people sometimes where I'm oh my God, they are so smart. They know their stuff, and then you get into a project with them and either maybe just the onboarding is you don't really know the people. And I feel in the Playhouse, when it's just a conversation and live and we all know the difference between a coffee chat with someone and you really feel like you connect versus following them on Instagram and watching Reels for a whole month. You just pop on a call with them for 20 minutes and you're oh my God, I love that person. Or sometimes you're I don't know, someone's a little off about them. Or they're just not your favorite and they're not going to be in your spreadsheet to keep up with.
I wish that we would normalize that a little bit more.
Yes.
You don't need to be besties with every single person that you get on a coffee chat with. Yes. In fact, that would be weird.
Yes. And actually, I drove myself almost insane trying to be I'm not keeping up with it. I'm not following up. And I'm I actually only have to follow up and keep in touch with the people that I kind of consider friends and I really like. And I see potential with.
And you will do that organically.
I know, right? It doesn't, I'm wait, I feel I kind of do that anyway. So that's a whole nother conversation, but now I'm intrigued. We should talk about that one day. But yeah, so in the Playhouse, I just was thinking, oh, wow, I think we're also kind of solving that whole, you have to make 100 reels. Someone has to because let's not even get into on social media, you make a reel and not everybody sees it anyways. So this whole misconception of there's billions of people on this platform. And I'm yeah, and they're not showing it to that many people. There's this whole
100
disconnect.
people are seeing it.
Yes. I'm actually just hanging out with a person can really speed that up. So yeah, I think that's happening in the Playhouse too, sometimes organically. And it's something that I think is cool that I didn't even really kind of plan on.
And as a member, so I joined, I remember when you reached out to me and were I'm starting this new thing. You sent me a Google Doc. You were so scrappy about it. And I loved that. And I was yeah, sure, I'll try it. Whatever, sounds cool. And truthfully, really didn't think much of it. I was it's a really low investment. I'll just try it for a year and see if I like it. And if not, whatever. It was $97 for the first year or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was what, it's been 3 years now? 2 years?
I think we're on our second year.
Yeah. I have since joined and left several networking groups. And right now I am like actively in two and a half, I'll call it. And the Playhouse is one of them. And I love it. I love hosting events in there. I have met so many great people in there. And I think too, to your point of rather than like forcing it with reels, just go somewhere where your people are and get to know them. Even if I don't actively know somebody, if they reach out to me and say, hey, I met you in the Playhouse, or even somebody in the Playhouse said that we should connect. It's like a immediate green flag to me a little bit, because I have some frame of reference for like where they might be at in business, what type of person they are. Like I know that nobody in the Playhouse is a complete jerk. There's not going to be anybody in there that I'm going to be like, oh, run the other way. They're like a terrible client. So there's also that base level of like trust that's built in just by being part of a really solid community.
Yeah. Yeah. So this year, we also added the audience tier, like the free audience tier. Again, I feel like I'm kind of building, I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, I'm building something so different. But since we were all in the beginning in the Playhouse, which I was kind of calling it a collective from the beginning, the Playhouse Collective, which
I think that's accurate.
It's around 100 people. Yeah, because we can all like present and we can all share our knowledge, and nobody is like the queen of all the knowledge. And then I was like, what would be cool is we want visibility. Like, obviously, we all want visibility. And my growing disdain for social media made me start to feel like, gosh, I wish I could just like mostly hang out in the Playhouse. And if I host an event in the Playhouse, could we get more people in? And so I feel like I brought on this audience tier. And the way I kind of described it was like, I've never done improv, but I've been listening to Amy Poehler's podcast a lot. So now in my head, I could totally do improv.
You totally could. I think you'd be great at it, actually.
Thanks. I feel like I might be okay. So in my head, I'm like, okay, we're the improv troupe. Like we are the people on stage having these events and being awesome. And there's nobody like in the audience yet. And so now we can all invite whoever we want to our events without having to feel like, okay, we're selling them. Like they have to join. It's a whole thing. They can just come and be our audience. And if and when they're ready, if they're like, wow, that improv troupe looks cool, I want to join, then perhaps some people from the audience will make their leap onto stage with us when they're ready. But I feel like even though we've been talking about not being anti-learning or learning too much, like I do think that depends on where you are in your business, right? And we're established enough to be like, okay, we need to stop with the learning. But there's a lot of people who are just starting out who want to hear all those different perspectives. And then hopefully by the time they're ready to sort of be where we are, it's like, we'll be the improv people who like bring them on, I'm like, we're the Carol Burnett's to their Amy Poehler's or whatever we want to call it. But you know what I mean? Like, I like this idea of it being a community. And I know everybody calls it community and membership and community. And the Playhouse to me feels different. Like I really am trying to make it less centered around just one person or just me and really making it feel like we all have something to bring, even if you are brand new in business. Like if you have hot takes on Salt Lake City Real Housewives, like come to my Bravo event and share them,
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're doing a great job of that. And I also think too, that is one of the downsides of like a paid business group is we all want visibility, right? And eventually I really need to get back to it. But for a while there, I was hosting live brand audits inside the Playhouse once a month. And that was great. But then like you do start getting the same like 5 people coming. And then I'm like, I love doing them, like happy to help legitimately. And I would also like to get in front of some other people, like some new people. So I think that's a great answer to that. And it's also a good way to like include people who maybe are not at a point that they can invest in something like that, but still want to test it out, feel part of a community, meet some people. And I think that is really valuable just because like I remember when I was brand new and I was like, I can't pay $75 a month here and $50 a month there. Like, yeah, each one is not that big of an investment, but all of them together are.
I know. You like one day you look and you add them up and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
All of a sudden you add up your Netflix and your Hulu and your Apple TV and you're like, oh man, I'm paying way more than what it would cost for cable.
I know. That's where I am. And I'm like, well, crap, I feel like we're backed into a corner. Oh my gosh. I'm exactly
you can't get rid of any of them now. Especially now, like
my
with
kids. I know. Don't even talk about getting rid of Disney Plus if you have kids. They will like
Paramount. We can't get rid of Paramount because that's where Paw Patrol is.
Okay.
And we don't want anything else on there.
Yeah. No, it was like dramatic in our house for a second when Jimmy Kimmel got fired and people were talking about boycotting Disney. And we tried to talk to my kids about like how you can vote with your dollars and we might cancel Disney. I feel like they were like Scarlett O'Hara. Like they needed fainting couches. They were like, what? Who's Jimmy Kimmel? We don't care about him. It was hilarious.
Yeah, no,
So-
I was like, I'm sorry, but like, there's no way. There's just no way.
It's like, we can't survive.
And then
here.
everyone got over that pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so.
well, he got his job back. And my daughter was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Like, I don't think she wasn't like, justice has prevailed. She's like, oh gosh, okay, good. Mom
We
will
don't have
not
to get rid
cancel
of
our
Bluey.
Disney Plus. Yeah. She was like, good. Anyway.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about, because we've sort of like danced around this, is how much the Playhouse has evolved in the 2 years since you've been running it. It started as just like a collective. There was not a ton of us in there. Now there's, what is there? There's got to be like 100, over 100 people.
Yeah, in the collective.
Yeah.
And then there's about 100 people in the free tier that we opened in January. So
Yeah, that's crazy after we're recording this February 13th. So only like 6 weeks. You also ran a summit in November. Was it November?
I think it was our first birthday summit. So it would have been like September, October.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
I don't know. It's all a blur to
Yep.
me. But anyway, you did a
Babies.
summit,
Yeah.
which is like a big deal. So can you talk us through a little bit of like how you have figured out the best ways to like grow your community, and like was the summit worth the amount of work that I'm sure it was to put together? It went great. I participated in it and I thought it was amazing. I also heard a lot of like positive comments about it. But I think that we get fed this like story that like, oh, just start a membership. It's passive income. It's so great. And I have a membership. It is not passive at all. That running my membership, not running it is easy. Growing my membership is the hardest part of my business. And it has been that way since the day I launched it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Like, where do I even start? So funny. I was meeting with my VA today and we were just talking about simplifying. With my ADHD, I do tend to get really excited and have lots of ideas. Because even you bringing up the summit, I'm like, oh yeah, the summit was fun. We should do that again. I'm constantly reinventing when I should just keep doing what
Big
works.
proponent of a once annual Playhouse birthday party.
Okay, we'll do that. Consider it done. I need to email Emily about it. She'll be like, wait, we just took stuff off. What are you doing? No, it's smart. My main goal with the Playhouse is also to get the collective more visibility. So we're all together and we get more visibility. And so, you know, we all love to be in bundles, summits, whatever. And I've started to realize the Playhouse is almost like a summit that's open all year, because like your replay of your summit presentation is still living in the resources section of the Playhouse, which anybody gets access to, including the audience tier, the free audience tier, and the paid one, which some members, when I opened the audience tier, were like, wait, what? They can see that? I'm like, y'all want everybody to see your recordings, like your workshops, like underneath your summit thing is your opt-in. Like we all do these things. We all accidentally get on the hamster wheel because we just want more people to see our stuff. And so I think inside the Playhouse, I'm like, how can we be more generous with what we're sharing, but in strategic ways? So definitely there's opt-in, like after your summit talk for 20 minutes, you're like, here's how you go further. Here's how you get this thing. And then they're on your email list. And I think I totally went down a rabbit hole. Remind me what the question is. Oh, growing versus running. Today, when I was on the call with Emily, my VA, I was like, I just can't wait until we can just like focusing on being awesome inside the Playhouse and making it an awesome experience for everyone who's already there, who is 100 people giving me money and 100 people not giving me money, but I want everyone to have a great time curating that and running that. And at the same time, trying to keep getting more people, because with live events, you know, the schedule has to work, the topic has to work. Like the pool gets smaller and smaller. And I want people to have not jam-packed events where like, you know, you've been in a Zoom room and you can't get a word in edgewise. Like I don't want them to ever be that big, but we want them to be a little bigger. So it's exhausting. Like it's so hard. You have to just keep doing it. And now that you're bringing up the summit, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I should do that. So yeah, I honestly don't know if I have like brilliant advice for how to grow it, but just knowing how hard it is, I think is helpful for people to know that it is not like boom,
realistic expectations. For sure.
Just going to open this.
Yeah.
All these people are going to come. It's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, it is not a if you build it, they will come situation. Not at all.
No,
but I think that you gave us one like key nugget, which is something I talk about in my service-based business, is that like I really wholeheartedly believe that the best marketing strategy is just to treat your existing clients really, really well. And I know that we're not supposed to like base our whole business on referrals and whatever. Like that's sound advice. I get that. But sacrificing the quality of work or the quality of service for the people who are already paying you is going to make things worse for you down the line. You're better off pouring any extra effort that you feel like you can expend into the people that you already have. And that I have seen a time and time again will grow tenfold. I can't tell you how many people I've seen join the Playhouse and do their like intro post. And it's somebody that I already know from somewhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here. Like, all my favorite people are in here.
Yeah.
When people ask me, oh, what are the other networking groups? And I hate that I'm calling it a networking group, by the way, but
it is sort of
business group, whatever. People ask me like, what communities are you part of? And I have like 3 that I tell them, and the Playhouse is always at the top of the list. So that wouldn't be the case if after that first year that I was like, oh, whatever, $97, let's see how it goes. If I felt in that year like you didn't deliver or in fact like go above and beyond, I would have been like, all right, peace, I'm out. I'm not going to pay to renew. Yeah. So delivering for the people that are already in your membership, I think is the best answer you could give.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what makes it, I think, so hard to grow. Especially like, because, you know, I mean, we've all bought courses probably from like the big celebrity entrepreneurs. And then you quickly realize like, wow, you're really good at marketing and not like it feels like you got my money and you don't even care. So I definitely want to make the Playhouse as fun as I can for the people in there. And then naively, I did kind of think like, oh, and then they're all just going to like tell their friends and then everybody's just going to like come flooding on in. So I have kind of realized, okay, it is on me. And you can have like an affiliate program. We have affiliate links and stuff like that. But it's like, I know I suck at being affiliate sometimes. Like it's even if I like even for something as like easy as like Hello Audio, like a tool that or just script or whatever, I have these links. I just constantly forget about them. And even if I say I like it, I'm like, ugh, whatever. Yeah, I just like it. Go buy it. But like, I just think it's hard. Like we're all so busy running our lives, having babies, if we're you, remembering chaperoning field trips yesterday, if you're me, like life is happening, business is happening. And so I have kind of come to the realization too that even though people, I think, really like it, it's really the onus is on me to grow this. And I also realize the more I grow it in the format we're working with in the Playhouse, the more valuable it becomes to the people who have paid me money. So, like I said, I was meeting with my VA today to be like, okay, let's get strategic. Like, what are the things we should focus on? Because I do tend to get excited and be like, oh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And then I'm like, again, with the content, like we were talking about, like none of it's that good because I'm a little like all over the place and I don't want to get burned out. And I've been down that road so I can see it coming kind of a mile away where I'm like, okay, I'm doing too many things. And so just really, I think not being scared to also try something and then be like, you know what, guys, this isn't working. And thank goodness the Playhouse Collective is very patient with me. They understand that I'm just we don't know till we try it. So yeah, just experimenting and then going with what works and not being me and not getting distracted and excited when there's like a new idea that pops up. Like we can try that later, maybe.
Yeah. And I think too, like you've done such a great job of bringing together the type of people who get that. And you've been very transparent of like, I think this is a cool idea. It's something I want to be a part of. I'm just going to try it and have fun with it, like we're talking about, and see what happens. And I think people really appreciate that transparency. I will also add for anyone considering starting a membership, Deanna has done something really smart in that has not created a membership where she is having to constantly create content for the membership. I did not do that when I first started mine. And I was like, there's going to be new trainings added every month. And then I was like, I have to make new trainings every month. So by having it be more of a true collective where I'm hosting events, other people are hosting events, sometimes you do some stuff once a year, there's a summit, makes it a little lower lift in that sense so that you can focus on like really loving on the people who are in there and marketing the membership.
Yes. And I would say too, people have told me that it should be more expensive because, you know, that's a whole thing. Like I know you've talked about pricing too on here and like people say, like people won't take it seriously. This is such, I'm like, it's like all of us doing the thing. Like it would be crazy if I was like, okay, and then I'm going to get all this money. Like it's very much priced to sustain like running it and growing it. And like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like the price I think works for, like I said, newer people or like you were like, oh, I'll just try this. Yeah. So yeah, that goes into it too.
Well, and
because yours is much more hands-on. Like you couldn't charge that's what I feel like also just to bring it back to the $9 memberships. Like we all think, oh, like it's going to be so easy. I'm just going to do this and I'm going to do a training and it's going to be $9 a month. And then you have like 4 people for a while and you're like, oh my gosh, what's 4 times 9?
Like a lot of work for
like I'm making like $30-some a month. Yeah.
And what did you just say about, pricing it? Like if you don't price it high enough, people won't take it seriously. But I think to your point, like it's not supposed to be that serious.
I was going to say, you also name it the Playhouse and reference Pee Wee Herman and stuff, then hopefully nobody's taking it that seriously to begin with.
And I think too, like just from me to you, like I would not discount the fact that the value that you bring is the people who you bring in there for me to connect with. Like I'm willing to pay for that.
Yes. Thank you. I like that. And you know what else I think? I just want to brag on myself for a second. With it being so fun and silly and like my personality, I feel like so many people go through the onboarding and are like, oh my gosh, this is so organized. This is so clear. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. And I'm like, yeah, teacher for over a decade, y'all. I know how to give you some information.
Getting compliments on my onboarding and offboarding process for like my done for you services is one of my favorite things ever. People are like, oh, it was so organized and so well on brand. And I'm like, yes, thank you. I know I worked really hard on that.
I know. Well, because that doesn't happen either. Like in the past, almost 2 year and a half that the Play has been open, I've like gone through it. Like anytime somebody hits a roadblock, like, tweak that. Oh, well, that wasn't clear. Okay, well, how did they not even know that we have that thing? Like, okay, let's make sure that's part of it. Da-da. And again, with the whole, it's like hard to have a membership. If you're going to do it well, it's a lot of work. So that was my other goal. I'm not saying nobody else should have a membership. I just thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could all just like get the benefits of a membership? Because when you're doing a membership for $9 with 4 people a month, it's not going to last long and you're not going to get exactly what you wanted. But if you could join some sort of collective and other people have their audiences there and now you're the go-to branding person or you're the go-to email person, I'm like, wouldn't that be easier for everyone and more fun?
Yeah. And I think too, just to wrap us up, we've talked a lot about like having fun and building relationships and talking about Bravo. The people in the Playhouse are like really freaking smart. Like they know their stuff. So I also just want to make that really clear to anyone listening who's hopefully thinking about joining the Playhouse. Like it is all fun and games, but it's not all fun and games, if that makes sense. Like you need
we have time for it.
You need a copy person, you need a branding person. Like there is somebody in there who really like knows their stuff. And in a collective like that, they're willing to like help you out a lot for free. Like I've had so many people come, then they'll come to like 2 live brand audits back to back and I'll say, okay, here's changes to make. And then they'll come back and having made those changes and have me look at it again. And like normally they would have to pay me for that. So I also really appreciate that it's a place where like we can have fun and be silly and have our like silly little book club and also get some real work done for our business.
100%. Thank you for saying that. You're so smart.
Awesome. True. Okay. Well, Deanna, that was such a great conversation. I hope everyone is inspired to have just a teensy bit more fun in their business. Yeah. Please tell us where we can connect with you.
Oh my gosh. DeannaSeymour.com is the best place. Click on the essays tab. I think those are what people really like. It's like I write pretty funny emails and stories. And if you like them, then join my email list. That's where I'm the most consistent.
Yep. And there will, of course, be a link to that and to join the Playhouse and come hang out with me and Deanna and all of our friends in the show notes.
Yeah. Duh. Also, why didn't I say that? Join the free level of the Playhouse. We can like literally hang out and chat. I'm so used to saying email, but since January, I've only had 6 weeks to get used to the free audience tier. So do that and then we'll hang out and you'll be on my list.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing so openly with us. All the links will be in the show notes and hopefully we'll see some new friends over in the Playhouse.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the 6 Figure Brand Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to rate the show and leave a review on whatever app you're listening on. And as a thank you, I'll send you coffee on me. Yes, I'm serious. As a smaller show for now, you taking the time to do this makes a huge impact on how we can reach more people and how I can continue to create this content for free. When you take a screenshot of your review, follow and tag me on Instagram at @SpectandCo. I'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. As always, don't forget to check out the show notes for any links or resources I mentioned during the episode. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week.